Happy Sunday. Welcome to Stories and Stitches. I'm Jada, and it's time to continue with the Happy Farm Sewing Kit. This silly little project could not be better named. It is a farm, and it's definitely happy. I have been so happy stitching these along with you guys. They are the simplest little felt critters. It's a kit made for kids. I think this is definitely with kids in mind, but it's great for people of all ages who just want to have a little fun. I've linked to the link to Amazon where I found it. That's not an affiliate or anything, but that's where I found it. It's the Canadian link, but it should get you to at least the listing and help you find it if you want to grab it. Recommended for kids, for adults, and for seniors. I've been having so much fun, and I know a lot of you have been having fun along with me. So I put up a little poll, and the poll went up, I guess, a couple days ago to sort of see which one we were going to do next. And the cow has won, so I will be stitching up the cow today. And I'm just going to pop into the chat and make sure that I haven't missed anything. Hello, Marlene. Hello, Charlie. Welcome. Thank you guys for popping in. And I guess we're going to do a little, we're all kids at heart. We are, Charlie. We are all kids at heart. I think it's little projects like this that remind you that fun does not have to be mature or complicated or expensive or any of the things. You don't even really have to think. This is it's just fun. It's just good old-fashioned fun, and it's a sweet little thing that we get to do with our hands and we get to do together. So, gonna do the cow today. Very excited about that. Gonna bring you to the craft table so you can sort of see what I've got on the table at my fingers. We've got the kit. I've got the other three little mascots that I've made so far. I just having them around makes me giggle. I do recommend a pair of scissors. The kit comes with a pair of scissors, but the scissors in the kit are not necessarily as good as your own favorite little crafting scissors, so I recommend that. Got my trusty glue gun ready to go to glue on the eyeballs, so I will heat that up in a little while. I also have my emergency craft bowl. So I've been sort of gathering things around the craft room and adding them to the bowl just in case I want to add a little something to embellish. I have an idea for the cow today. I will talk a little bit more about that as we get closer to it. And I want to see if I can realize the vision I have in my head. So most importantly, I have you guys, I have a cup of tea. Let's get into the kit. Oh my goodness, that is nice. So here we go. Of course, we've got the little bit of stuffing. I do have extra, but so far I've barely cracked the amount of stuffing in here, and I've made 3 so far. We've got our eyeballs. I definitely need 2. Looks like the cow has 2 eyeballs, so I will just pull out those eyeballs now. I'm going to get a couple of eyeballs out. There's a couple of eyeballs. Okay, so that's the eyeballs. I'll put them to the side. And there is all the sort of extra supplies. So the scissors, the embroidery floss. I really do like these scissors. They're so cute and pretty, but they just don't cut well enough. So I'm going to put them up there. And I've got my 2 little darning needles. I kept them strung on some embroidery floss so it would be easy to pull them out. And the kit comes with so much floss, so I don't know what I'm going to need for that yet. Probably white, but I'll get to that. And I'm going to get one of my needles ready to go. I'll put this one to the side. All right, and that just leaves all of the kits. So that's my empty little box. Put it to the side. Just to reiterate, we've got the barn yet to do. I might want to do this one last just because it's so cute and big, but we'll see. So I've got the barn. Need a little bit of space. You're going to have to move, little ducky. Woo! I've got those trees, which I think are so cute. I really like those. If they work out really well, I might try to like copy one or two. I've been thinking more about these. I might want to copy a couple because I just love the shape of that so much. The bunny, I really want to do the bunny before Easter, so depending on how this week goes, I might be doing that one next. The little puppy, which I think is so cute. There's the turkey, which every time I see it, it makes me laugh. There's a lot more pieces in the turkey. The little sheep, I really love the little sheep too. I think he's really cute. I keep kind of seeing if anybody wants to do that one, but he doesn't usually land. The horse is so sweet. I just love that. Then there's the pig. Gonna have to do a pig at some point. And of course the cow. That's what I'm doing today, the little cow. So I'm gonna put these back in the box. I'm gonna get the box out of the road. And as I also like to do, I like to kind of take a photograph of everything. It looks like I'm gonna need the white floss. So I'm going to grab one of the white flosses. I think I had started one, but I don't think it really matters. Doesn't look, oh, and there's pink. Looks like they use a bit of pink, so I'll get some pink out too. So pink and white. Becky, hello Becky, and Mr. InStitches is in the house. The gang is almost all here. So I've got my scissors. I've got my 2 threads, a lovely, lovely pink and some white. I've got 2 eyeballs. I've got my little needle. I've got my kit. I want to take a picture of this because I just think that is so cute. Let me just shuffle all of these little guys over here. And don't mind me. Haha. Love it. Love it. Had to take a photo. Okay, so let's get everybody back here. I like having my little friends. Okay, let's open this up and get into it. These lives have been so moving. We need a little counter. We need a pun counter. How many cow-related puns can we get into the chat today? So far, we've had moving live streams. I love that. I feel like this is going to be large. I feel like they're making all of them pretty big. Like that's the chicken, that's the cow. So there's sort of a general similarity in size to them all. But I don't care about that. I think that's part of sort of the fun. You don't feel like when you make the chicken that you're kind of getting gypped on the size of the project, which is another reason it's really great for kids or seniors or a party because everybody gets to make something that's relatively the same size. I'm definitely going to be ordering another kit like this. I've got the woodland animals ones on my wish list. And I think once I'm finished with this whole kit thing, I'm probably going to get the other one because I've just been enjoying this so much. All right, let's get into the kit. We've got, where's that? Oh, here it is here. Okay. Of course, all these packages are resealable, which is so nice. This one's a little different. This little baggie it closes this way as opposed to this way. Ah, so cute, the pieces. All right, so first we want to look at our little instruction booklet, which is just so darn cute. All right, all of the pieces. Let's see what we've got here. We've got the cow. So let me get these little pieces taken off. So cute. A lot of pieces on the cow. All right. So we've got a front and a back. So front, back. Front has extra stitching in it. So there's a nose that goes on here and looks like a little black splotch because this is a proper Holstein cow. So no extra stitching holes on the back. The front has the extra stitching holes. So I'm going to put these sort of side by side. Then, look at all these extra pieces we have. We have the nose, which is number 1. So let's get number 1 out. So that's the nose, that's number 1. That goes right there. And yeah, that matches nicely. Or does it? Yep, it does perfectly. Perfectly match, and it doesn't interfere with the side stitching, so that's nice. Okay. 2 and 3 are the little horns. This is so cute. So they turn inwards. So 2 and 3 are the little horns. They sit on either side of the head. Part number 4 is the splooch. This is the little black mark that goes on the side of his body. Number 5 is another mark. He's got 2 more marks. Oh my gosh. Okay, number 5 looks like it's the rounded one, and that one goes up here. Maybe? Yeah, up here. And number 6 goes down here on the leg. And then number 7 is the tail. So a whole lot of extra pieces this time round. Okay, so the instructions say to thread up the needle and tie a knot on the loose end. But I have been doing it a little bit differently. Oh, wait. The first thing we want to do is sew on the pieces. So I'm still going to do that, leave a little tail out the back. I'll show that when I get to it. We want to sew the nose to the face and the big black splotch to the side of the body. So that's the first thing we're going to do. All right, so I can put my eyes aside. I can take all of the little bits and pieces and put them up here where it's safe. I'll get my scissors out of the road. And I'll take the back and the tail. I'm just going to slip. I guess I'll just put that over here for now. And that I don't need. Okay, so to sew on the nose, I want to use pink yarn or pink thread. So, Jessica Rabbit in the house. Hello, ma'am. Moo, says Jessica Rabbit. I'll be lurking, just got back from shopping. I have to put things away and make lunch. I'm starving. Good plan. Okay, let's cut a little bit of pink. I don't think I'm going to need much, so not too little, not too much. I'll put the black splotch aside. Tell me if you do, I'll order right away, says Becky. Yeah, you know what? The second I decide to get that one, I'll let you guys know immediately, because it'll probably take as long to get to me as it would to you guys. And it's the woodland critters one. It's on my wish list. It's just so darn cute. Okay, so I've got the nose on the front. This is the front. Now, I want to say, Charlie did something cool the other day. Charlie did, was it the duck, Charlie? You did it in reverse, because this could just as easily be the front if you wanted it to. It doesn't have to be, like I'm doing it exactly the way I see it. So the little guy is sort of facing to the left, but you could just as easily make it in reverse and have it to the right if you wanted. Now I do see that the underside of my cow is a bit chipped, almost like it got, like some of the pieces didn't quite come out. So obviously this is a better looking thing. So I am going to do it exactly the same way. But Charlie made a great example of the fact that these are fully reversible. So if you want your little animal looking the other way, you don't have to, like this, the whole thing can be reversed, because one side typically looks just as good on the other, so you could do it either way. But this side is definitely the nice side, so I'm going to do it the same way that the instructions say, which just continues to take the thought work out of it. Now, if I got this reversed, looks like I do. I want to make sure all my dots line up. There we go. So all my dots line up, all the little holes, and I'm going to start over here from behind, and I'm going to leave a little tail out the back, and I'll knot my ends together when I get back to it. So I'm just going to keep my thumb on it. And then commence happy brainless stitching. The best part. I love this so much. Yeah, the duck, you flipped the duck. I thought that looked so neat. I also like that you gave it a little collar with a flower on it. I love that. I have an idea to embellish my cow, but I shall explain that a little further when we get to it, because I think you all may be able to help me with that. All right. So we've got Marlene, Charlie, Becky, Jessica Rabbit, Mr. InStitches, and a couple more lurkers here on a Sunday. Thank you guys. Thank you for finding some time to hang out with me. I've just been enjoying this little series so very much. It's like, I was saying to Mr. InStitches earlier, we're in the middle of tax season, so we're doing all the blah adulting junk. This is just such a nice little palette cleanser. Even better than sitting down with a cup of tea and a cookie. I enjoy this little craft along. Having pre-drilled holes or pre-cut holes is just so nice. And it works out perfectly again. I love it when that happens. So in from the back, and then it exits and ends on the back. I will tie my ends together. That is the nose stitched on. Love it. Okay. And I think I will trim that. I don't know if I'll use that for anything, but I might. I will put that in my bowl. Okay, that is... Oh! It looks like they use black. I'm still kind of catching up with, I like, it doesn't necessarily, oh, it does tell you. It tells you right here. I'm just blind. I'm so excited to get started. I skipped. White, pink, and black. So... I think I've used all the pink I need, so I can put my pink away, but I need the black. So, back to black. So I need just a little bit of black, it looks like, to stitch on the little, the little spot on her side. So, not too much, just a smidgen. And then I think it looks like that's it. I think all I need is a bit of black for the side splotch. So I'm going to put that away. I'm just trying to kind of keep things neat and tidy. I could so easily make a giant mess. So let's get that all threaded up. And then I will sew on the splotch. So the splotch is the next thing that goes on. And then I think we start putting the two sides together. So let's see here. We go. Hi, Shell. Shell's in the house. Welcome, Shell. It's me. I'm a lurker. Ooh, pizza. That sounds like a good plan. All right. Oh my gosh, and it's spring training. Well, that's a nice thought. Spring anything. It was spring yesterday, guys. Happy spring. And you know what? We had a giant snowstorm. Ah, yes, welcome spring. But you know what? The sun's out today, so I'll take it. I know March is insane. I say it every year. I have to remember that March is sort of the last test before you get to spring, real spring. So I'm stitching on, using black, I'm stitching on that little spot. And I think, from what I can tell, that's the only place I need the black. You know which would have been nice? These little holes. So I love that they included nostrils in the nose, but I feel like they should be darker in color. Do you think it's worth me cutting out a little bit of like dark pink or gray or black felt from my felt collection and just trying to make little circles that fit in there? What do you think about that? Like, just because I feel like the white background doesn't look nosy enough. You know what? Let's have some fun. I'm going to pause and make that. Charlie switched things up. Charlie switched up. So you found that the needle that came with the kit was a little too big. I have to admit, I don't mind it. I feel like it was, so far it's been going through the holes comfortably for me. So I'm going to make a poll, guys. Let's do a poll. Should I make nostrils out of felt for the cow nose? Question mark. Yes, no. There you go, guys. Vote. I like democracy. I like crafting democracy. Let's see what you guys think. Because as I go through this little kit, so the first one we did was just, I honestly think this was the perfect one to start with. It was such a fun, goofy little chicken, and she's kind of perfect. There's nothing I would add to her. Like, she didn't need embellishment. When we were doing the cat, and we were having so much fun with this, several of you were like, oh, she needs a collar. Like, how does she not have a collar? The dog has a collar in the little kit, but the cat didn't. So we embellished, we made a collar, and that makes it unique. It brings it to life. It kind of like, it's suddenly that little excitement kind of light comes on, because you're like, ooh, now I'm adding stuff. Then we went and made the duck, and I love the duck the way it is. Mr. InStitches is a huge fan of ducks, so the little duckling, I think she was just perfect the way she is. But then with the cow, I already was thinking, oh, I have an idea. I want to add a little something to the cow, which I swear I will tell you about once we get there. But the nostrils is just, it just occurred to me, you know, as like you kind of look at these things now and you sort of think, could I improve on that? Could I, you know, would an embellishment help or hinder? But you notice the little nostrils are white. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just feel like it might look cuter if they were dark pink or just darker brown, so like a darker color. They would look a little bit more like real nostrils. Yeah, so I think, I don't know, we'll see what you guys think. Okay, so let's head back to the craft table. I've just finished stitching down the little splotch. So I'm going to knot those two ends together and definitely trim and use that black thread for something else because I have quite a bit of it left over. There we go. I'll put that in there. Okay, so the nose is on and we are considering little nostrils. Looks like so far 80% of you think that absolutely yes, I should make little nostrils. I mean, I've got the glue gun, I've got the felt, I've got my tea. I mean, this is just Sunday crafting at its best. Black splotch is on. Okay, so according to my instructions, nose, use pink yarn. Splotch, use the black yarn. So yes, yes. Okay, 1 and 4 I've sewn to the front of the body. Step 3. Put 5 and 6 on the front of the body. So we're supposed to sew these on before we actually stitch all the way around. I may not bother. I might just put them on as I go. I feel like that doesn't have to be done separately. 2 and 3 go up here, but I'm going to, and 7, I'm going to add them in as we go. So I feel like the next bit can probably be done all in one go. So I'm going to cut a long length of white, probably over a yard, because I don't want to run the risk of not having enough. So nice long bit of white embroidery floss. What about a nose ring? Is this a cow or a bull? Asks Charlie. Oh, a nose ring would be so cute. A nose ring would be so cute. Becky says the same thing. Do the girls usually have nose rings, or is it just the bulls? Because I feel like I want her to be a girl. I'm picturing her like a little milking cow. Again, I have this idea for an embellishment. The nose ring is a cute idea. Do girls wear nose rings, or is it just the boys, the bulls? I feel like the bulls look a little different than the girls, especially the Holsteins. Am I wrong? If you add a nose ring, I have to see the picture though. I love that idea. That's really cute. Okay, I think I'm gonna, just the bulls, says Becky. Yeah, I think I want her to be a girl. Okay, I'll tell you about my idea since we're talking about embellishments. I can't help myself here. Okay. While I'm stitching it together, my plan somehow is to put on, you know, in Switzerland, when they bring the cows down from the mountain, they wear those huge ornate cowbells, and they've got like the big fancy, I mean, they sometimes wear bells up in the mountains, but when they bring them down for the big kind of like procession, sometimes they put these huge bells on them, and they've got really fancy ornate like leather collars. I want to do something like that. I want to add some kind of an ornate collar and then an ornate cowbell. That's what I want to do. And I hadn't looked at this until like right now. So I have like a little bit of an area that I can run some kind of a like a big collar through, like a leather looking thing. And I want a bell. And since she's kind of chest forward, I feel like hanging the bell right there would look really cute. So that's my plan. I want to do a Swiss cowbell thing for her. And I'm also thinking the nostrils. So I've got access to lots of different, I've got one of my bead kits here. So I'm going to look through that for something that looks a bit cowbelly. But that's the plan. So if you have ideas in that regard, let me know. Okay, so I'm threaded up. Here we go. Sip of tea to sort of steady my thoughts. I need to put on, so piece number 5 goes up here, but also one of the horns goes in between. So the horns get sandwiched in between. The little spot sits on top, and then the other one gets sandwiched in between. So that goes like here. That does that. And then this one sits up top. Hi, baby. Did you come for a little visit? Hi, Schnookers. Hi, Snookums. Hi. Do you want to come up and say hello? Or you just want to say, like, hi? Hi. Hi, babies. You want to come up and say hello? Let's see if we can get Penny to say hello. You want to come say hello? Hey? Or you just want to give me your belly? Am I getting belly? This dog, I swear, she's just like, belly, belly. Do you want to come up? Do you want to come and say hi? No, you want me to leave. I'm not going to come sit on the couch just yet. No. All right. She's being shy again. Okay, you can sit there if you want. Silly little thing. And she leaves. Okay. Jersey and the Channel Islands. The cows and bulls are dehorned when they still are calves. A wreath of flowers for her head. Oh, Jessica Rabbit. That would be so cute. A wreath of flowers. Gee, I like that idea too. Okay, so I have to remember that this goes here, these go there. This goes on last, and like I've done with the other ones, I'm going to leave the back open for stuffing. So I'm going to start here in the corner, and that means that I can add in things as I go. So most of this is just going to stay where I put it. So rather than tie a knot, I like to come in from the inside of the cow and leave a tail out for knotting later. So I'm just going to leave that right here and hold you together and start. I'll give myself just a little bit more and then just start. So these line up pretty perfectly. And here we go. Now there's nothing around the ears. The ears don't have anything extra, so I don't have to, I can get all the way around the ear before I start worrying about the horn, the first horn, and the first patch. Patch sits on front, horns sit in the middle, and then I'm going to worry about the tail last. Okay, so far so good. So now let me just double check where I want my horn. The holes in the horn, I need them to line up properly. So this is in between the front and the back. Maybe bring it down a little bit so it looks like it starts a little lower. So that works. And then this is a little off side. So that looks like it lines up. This looks like it lines up. Okay, so let me get the ear finished. All right, so all the way through the front, the horn and the back, the horn and the front, and now I've got 4 layers I'm going through. The patch, the front, the horn, and the back. Looks like it's working. And then the back, the horn, the front, and the patch. And that completes the, oops, that fell off. Don't worry, I'll get to that in a minute. That's come down by the legs, so I don't have to worry about that right now. Now it's just the patch and the front and the back. And then I think I need to reposition that second horn a little bit. Yes, I definitely want to reposition that horn. The first one sits a little to the side. So let's see here. I will put this one down maybe here. Yeah, that looks like it lines up. Yeah, so there we go. That looks better. So I've moved it down a little bit. All right, let's take a look at that poll. So 5 votes. There are more of you watching. I could use a few extra votes. 5 votes so far. 80% believe yes, I should put in a different colored nostril. I think I should too. My right away, my instinct was to do like a dark pink because I just feel like since the little snout is pink, then a dark pink might be a better option. But I do have like lots of nice little dark natural colors. Like I've got a brown. That would be cute too. Okay. All right, so horn, splotch, horn, all in. Now I don't have to worry about anything until I get down to the front leg where I'm going to put in that other little splotch. And pause for a cup of tea. And I think I like the wreath of flowers. The wreath of flowers would be really cute. Jessica Rabbit has a cute idea. I like that. A wreath of flowers on the cow and a fancy cowbell. I think that makes sense because they come down. Is it the fall they come down? I guess they must come down in the fall because they're not up in the mountains in the winter. They're up in the mountains in the summer. But they go up for the summer and they probably wear nice little spring flower crowns. You know, as I sit here thinking about it, I was going to use ribbon for the little neckline to put her little cowbell on. I was thinking ribbon because originally I thought like I had this cute little flowery ribbon. I think I've shown you this before, and I think it's really cute. And some of the Swiss embroidery or the Swiss painting on these cowbell, the decorative cowbell, the embroidery and stuff, it's like flowery, but it's not that color. It's like, you know, they're bold, like blue, yellow, red, like the primary colors. But now that I'm looking at the shape of her neck, I'm wondering if maybe I should use, I have like leather cording for knotting bracelets and whatnot. I'm just wondering if I should pull some of that out because the actual thin leather cord might look better, and then I can hang the bell off of that. I may have to dive into one of the craft cupboards when I get to that point. So far, so cute. I like this. There's something about this size too. I don't know. I love it. I love it. So let's see here. I'm coming down the leg, so I need to start thinking about where I'm going to put this. So an extra vote. We've got 83% think yes. Okay, so it looks like I'll definitely be adding nostrils to this wee cow. And that looks like it follows the shape of the leg, so that's pretty easy to figure out. And it sits on top. So that little one. And here we go. So I'm going to get all the way, now after I get this little splotch on, it's just the legs and then up over her rump, and then I add her tail, and then I have to pause to stuff it. And when I do that, I'm going to plug in my glue gun because I'm going to add the eyes, and then we're going to look into, further embellishments. I've got to make little nostrils. I'm going to glue those in. Where I grew up, there were lots of Jersey cow farms, so this is particularly sweet for me. Makes me think of my childhood. Does anybody know why they put a ring in the nose of a bull? Is that just so that they can kind of lead it around and it's a little more inclined to follow because it's a bit of a sensitive spot? Or is there a reason for adding a bull ring? I have to admit, I don't think I've ever seen a bull with an actual ring in its nose in person. I've obviously seen a billion photographs of them, but Okay, I had better see where I'm going to put this tail now. Let's see, it looks cute when it's up. There's only one hole in it, so I guess I could technically put it anywhere. So right about there, I think. That looks good. I guess that means since there's only one hole, if I don't stitch it very tightly, it will wag if I want it to. Not that I need her tail to wag, but you know what I'm saying. It just might be kind of a cute little thing. Okay, so I want that one. So I'm going to go down beside it, up through the middle of the tail, and then down the other side. Okay, and now is about the time that I want to pause and stuff. So that means I have to plug in the trusty old glue gun. Okay, glue gun is now plugged in and heating. Next, I want to pause, drop my needle, and stuff. So we're going to add some stuffing to our cow. So a little bit at a time. I need my eyes out of the way. A little sip of my tea. All right, so a little bit of stuffing. I feel like I should be able to sort of turn the corner and get into its head. I find the stuffing very, it's very easy to just stuff your finger right through the middle of it, so it's not as, I mean, it's nice, it's light and fluffy. I don't want to put too much in. I've just pulled way too much out here. Yeah. All right, so a little bit at a time. I think I can make her head a little bit fatter. So a little bit there. And I think I'm going to be a little bit more generous with the stuffing for the cow than I was maybe with like the duck or the chicken or even the cat. Because I think she can take it. So I don't want that to come undone. Okay, so that's, you can sort of see just a little bit more. She's got a bigger head, so I'm gonna add a little bit more to her body. And try and keep all this out of my tea. I don't think I need to put anything in the legs. I don't think I could really get my finger in there if I wanted to anyway, so just a little bit more in the body and then I will stitch it up. That's the other thing. When I was stuffing the duck, I didn't want to have too much that I had to sort of struggle to kind of stitch over top of the stuffing. Stuffing kind of wants to come out. It's very like finicky, fluffy stuff. So I think that's enough. I think that's enough because if I'm gonna close up the top, it wants to kind of pop open, so I think that's enough. That feels like enough stuffing, so let's continue with the sewing. Becky says the cow may be my favorite so far. The cow is so cute. It's gonna be one of those things where whenever you make the next one, it becomes your new favorite, you know? The cow is awfully cute. Hopefully, if I can embellish it the way I see it in my head, it won't ruin it. That's another thing. I'm always afraid that like when I want to add this, I want to add that. I'm always afraid that I'm going to ruin it. I do the same thing when I'm painting. I'll be painting a picture and it'll be going along really well, and then I'll be like, oh, it just needs a little bit extra here or a little bit extra there, and I inevitably feel like I go past the point where I should have stopped. I don't want to do that with these cute little animals. All right, so that's my tie. Come back here. And I want to go, looks like, so I'm going to go out this way and then in this hole. I cut way more than I needed, but that's okay. Better to have too much than not enough. I'm going to knot my two ends together. And then I shall trim. Definitely I'm saving this because that is quite a lot of thread. And I'm going to sneak my needle out a hole over here and thread up those two tails. There's just, I'm working in behind the ear here. There we go. There. So knotted, tucked in, tails are in, it's stitched together. It's got its stuffing, it's got its little splotches. I did not miss anything. Now it's time to add the eyes. So I've got my glue gun. I can smell that it's heated up. So let's decide where the eyes are going to go. Then we'll get to the super fun part, which is I'm going to make the little nostrils because I'm sure of that because you guys have decided that definitely we're doing nostrils. I'm going to end that poll. So Charlie says, my bull has a nose ring, but no eyes yet. I'll get that later. So I'm definitely going to do little nostrils. I'm going to get the eyes glued on, and then I'm going to grab some darker felt out of my little felt collection. So where do I put her eyes? Too close together and she looks a little derpy, but that's kind of cute, actually. Maybe evenly spaced about there. Okay, let me get one on. And right about here. And then, I don't want it to be too far away. Maybe evenly spaced. I'm going to try and do that. Because the eyeballs are looking in two different directions, I'm getting distracted. Okay, and right there. How did I do? Did I do them about even? Yeah, I mean the head's a bit round because of the stuffing, so I can't get them perfectly even, but that's close enough. Yeah, that's close enough. Okay, all right, so let's double check the cow is adorable, says Marlene. The cow really is adorable. Let's check our instructions. So we've got all of the stuff on, the nose, the horns, there are 3 splotches, and the tail. So all of the little parts are on, the eyes are glued on, it's stuffed, it's knotted. So as far as the original instructions are concerned, the cow is now finito. So now a little bit of embellishment. So I'm going to add nostrils. I think we've all agreed that we're going to add nostrils. And I think I'm going to aim for, I definitely want to try and do the cowbell thing. I feel like she really needs the cowbell. That would just be so cute. So let me grab my big old bag of felt. It's a huge bag of felt. I have all kinds of scraps, including this nice dark pink. Quite a lot of that. So I think pink nose, dark pink circles for the snout. I'm gonna cut a couple out and literally push them in, and we'll see what we think, because I think that's gonna be, like, I want it to be a darker color. I don't want it to be black. I want it to look like she's got, like, it's the same kind of color as the nose, but dark, because there's a shadow. Does that make sense? I think that's kind of what I'm aiming for here. So here we go. I'm gonna make a couple of little round circles. So let's see here. It's not easy to cut a tiny little circle using these little craft scissors, but it's a little big. I'll make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, I can squeeze that in there. Yes, yes. I think I might be able to get one. Is this too small a scrap? That might be too small a scrap. Okay, garbage. Put that over there. And get another little triangle going. Okay. So another nice little circle. That's a bit too big. Carefully trim that down. And yeah, there we go. I might even be able to trim that down a little bit more. Since there's these two little holes here, I feel like if I made them just the right size that I can squeeze in, yeah, like I think that looks a lot better right off the bat. So that looks a little bit more like proper nostrils, I think. Yeah, better than the white. Because let's just sort of, for reference, that's the photograph. And the nostrils are white. I think she looks better with little pink nostrils. I think it looks more like a proper cow snout. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those in because I think that looks right to me. And I will clear all of this off my work surface. You know what? Let me just toss this into the garbage because I don't want to have little bits of pink stuff on my cow. There we go. Much better. Okay, so let's glue these in. I'm going to put a little bit of glue in the nostril and then I will squeeze the, not a lot. There we go. And I will just squeeze these guys in on top. So And because this felt is a little on the softer side, it sort of squishes into the die cut area. There! Nostril complete. Okay, I think she looks much cuter with little dark pink nostrils. Nice use of my extra felt lying around. Okay, sip of tea and we shall decide what we're doing next. So, nostrils in. Now, the cowbell. So, just for context, I was thinking something like, see, this is quite different now. Like something like, there's her little collar. And then I would somehow have the bell hanging like down here. I feel like the ribbon's too thick. Now that I'm looking at now that I'm looking at her little snout and her spot, there's like a very thin area there, so the ribbon might not be enough. Now, that doesn't mean that I couldn't use a little bit of it to like, because I'm picturing those Swiss bells. It's like a big bell, and then there's like a big buckle that goes around the top of it, and that hangs on the rope, I guess, around the neck of the cow. So maybe I might still use a little bit of this. What I need is like a cord, like that leather cording, which I think I have in one of the craft cupboards. So bear with me 1 second. I've got craft cording in here. Where is it? It is, nope. Maybe, is it in here? Maybe it isn't here. Okay, I think it might be in this package. Not sure. Let's find out. Made this. This is like a nice turquoisey denim. I made this it was supposed to be a mobile crafting kit. And now I think it just holds all of like my cording and stuff. A lot more embroidery floss. And okay, so how many of you had a marble bag? So I've got, now is there anything in here? Yeah, I've got twine. I don't think what I want is in here. No, this is mostly hemp. So I think I've got all my hemp in this bag. I used to have my marbles in it, but now it's just my hemp. So no, I want cording, and this is what I need. I've got, what's this? GIMP! That's my GIMP. I was wondering where you went. Okay, so I found my GIMP. We'll probably do some of that too. All right, so this is what I'm thinking. I've got, this is hemp cord, which is very natural colored, so that's not bad. Let me just make sure I can see what's happening in the chat here. Okay, so hemp cord, natural colored. I think this is bamboo cording in really pretty Easter colors. Easter project coming to mind. So there's that. And then I think this is what I was thinking. This is cotton braiding cord, but it's so finely wound that it looks and feels more like a faux leather. So I was kind of thinking something like this. Cow collars are wide, says Becky. Yeah, they are. But I feel like I don't have a tremendous amount of space there. I think I want to use cording. I want to use cord. I could braid some cord, I guess. Maybe what I should do is figure out what the bell is going to be, and then that might direct the rest of it. So I'll keep all this out. I am rapidly running out of space here. Good thing I have these little side tables. Okay, so you know what? Let's be smart. I don't need the gimp. I can put that back. I don't need the hemp cord. I can put that back. I don't need the extra embroidery floss. I can put that back. This little guy can go back in here as well. Okay. I am hemp, bamboo, cotton. I have all three of these cords, so I'm going to keep them out to the side. I'm thinking that this would be like if I make like a little, this is the thing that the bell will be attached to that hangs on the collar. That's what I'm thinking, because I kind of want to use this. I think it's really cute. And I realized that if I use the pink and the blue cording, or either or both, that will match this ribbon, which is kind of nice. I like that. So I think I'm going to use this ribbon. Now the thing is I need a bell. I have jingle bells, so I can easily cop out and use one of the jingle bells. I say cop out because I was kind of picturing something a little more fancy, but in this case I would use probably the gold one. So gold, and then somehow this is like, somehow it's like attached to this, and then this whole contraption gets attached to a neck collar. So if I have to, I can use that little bell, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to leave it out. I'll put this back in my case. And I can put the white embroidery floss back in here. You know what I can do? I can spaces of a premium. I'm going to put the scissors away and the embroidery floss, and I think my 2 needles too. So I was doing this. I was keeping them both threaded on the same bit of embroidery floss, just so I could find them easily in the bag. I think I'm going to continue to do that. So I'm going to put this away. I will put the eyes away and the stuffing. So I'm going to keep things neat and tidy. So, kit put back together. I'm going to put the kit over here. Okay. Beads! So I'm looking for, it doesn't have to be a bell. Obviously, a little jingle bell, I don't even know if you can hear that. A little jingle bell does not sound like that wonderful cowbell sound. So it doesn't actually have to be a functioning bell. I just kind of want it to look like that. So I'm going to switch you back down to the table here so we can look through some of these beads together and see if any of these sort of suit. So let's see. We've got the ribbon that I'm thinking of and the little bell. So even right there, that's cute. But you know what? It's too small. Right away, I can feel that it's too small. It needs to be a big bell, like a big... Let's see what I've got in the metal department. Let me shuffle this to the side. Okay, so I've got... Oh, wow. Okay, right off the bat, I've got like a cute little heart. That might be cute. Instead of a bell. That also might be cute on my dog. I might save that for the puppy, because the puppy doesn't have like a little name tag on its collar. I might save that for the puppy. Yeah, okay, so let me put that to the side right away. See, I forget that I have these things. Okay. Brown felt in the shape of a cowbell, Ms. Rabbit. Yes, absolutely. Last resort, could totally do that. I have, let's see, I have so many. Okay, so for example, this is a little ghost, but if I flip it around, it looks like a little cowbell, and it's also the right sort of size. Can you see that? So that's a ghost. That's a cute little ghosty. I don't know why I have a little like metal looking ghost, but I feel like that really looks like a cowbell upside down. A nice metal cowbell. So that is, that's a contender right there. That's a contender right there. So I'm going to put that to the side. So right away, it's beating this bell. Plus, I'm also thinking of it like looking like kind of burnished metal, like a darker metal or a broken, beaten up kind of metal. A lot of those are really old looking. Ship's wheel? No. What's this? What's this? This is like a little rose, a little flower. Not the right shape. Got a fish. What's this? That's a moon. What's this? That's an orangutan. I have some interesting beads. Okay. Most of these are just round beads. Oh, what's this? What's this? That's just round, but it's a really pretty onyx. So maybe not, but I got fish. I've got letters. I've got this. That's the wrong shape. All right, that's what's in there. So let's put all these back. All right, so I'm going to keep this heart. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put this in my emergency craft kit. This goes in the bowl because I'm pretty sure I'm going to use that for the doggy. I feel like that would be perfect. I'm not sure if I've exhausted all my options in here. Yeah, this is kind of where I keep all of the real odds and sods, but the odds and sods that I like. So I think it might be this little ghost. What have I got here? This is a good shape, but it's clear. You won't see it. So I don't feel like that's right. That's too big. That looks like grapes. That's too bead shaped. Oh wait, what's that down there? What's that? Come here, you. No. Nice color. I'm not seeing anything that makes me think cowbell, except that little ghost. I think I might use the ghost. I think, yeah. It's this little bell is too small, so I'm going to put the little jingle bell away, and I think I'm going to use this, the little ghost, and I'm going to invert it so you're only looking at the back end of it, so you don't see like its little face, because you don't need to see it as a ghost. We're going to see it as a little cowbell. So I will use the cowbell. That much has been decided. Let's see if I can get this to close. There we go. Okay, so we have our cowbell. Now we need cord. Trying to decide, like I feel like this is too big, but I want, how am I gonna make this hang? I need to create something that comes up and out the top, like wire, which I have also. Nope. I have wire. It's in one of the other big craft kits. Not a big deal. I can grab that. But before I go to all that trouble, is there maybe just the cord I can use? I think picturing this kind of hanging, no, not too big. This might now overpower the size of that little bell. So, do I use this as the collar? I think it's too thick because there's too much going on here under the nose. I guess I'm not using that after all. See, this is so funny how things change. The blue is really pretty. The brown is like kind of like classic. Wait, you know what? I just thought of something. What else have I got in here? All right, let's see here. Got shoelaces, I've got cording, I've got hemp stuff. Ooh, that's real hemp. Ooh, that might be nice. I kind of want it to look like a little rough, like not all polished and tidy and refined, because she's a cow. Like, she spends a lot of her time kind of outside in the weather. So I feel like this is some hemp twine, which I feel might be a little bit more to the right size, because I've got to go around her nose. I can slip it just slightly under her nose, but it's got to bypass her nose. I think that might be it. Shell says, how cute is the cow? May have picked up some felt and wooden beads at Dollarama. I was curious if they'd have anything similar to this kit, but struck out. They had regular embroidery though. I feel like you could definitely mimic a lot of these. Like I said earlier in today's stream, I love the tree so much. I might try and mimic the tree, just so I have like another 1 or 2 trees. Because everything is just so cute about that. Mimicking the duck and stuff would be fun too. I don't know. I might try mimicking 1 or 2 of these as we get to it. I think this is it. I think I'm going to use this sort of. I'm going to use this hemp. So I'm going to cut enough that I can just glue it around her neck at the back, and then I'm going to hang the bell off of this somehow. So, gosh, should I just tie this? Yeah, I'm going to knot it down. We're going to glue it down on the back. 1 and 2. Just hold that in. Try not to get it on my own fingers. And there, then it kind of hangs a little bit, which is good. And then, oops, I don't want to glue this to the, getting ahead of myself. Of course I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, you dry, little bit of glue there. And I will tie this on. What have I got anything in here that's open? I'll just use a bit of this. Yeah. Okay, so just gonna lay you right there. I want to tie the bell on. So I'm going to use a little bit of this brown hemp. See if I can find an end to it. Twine is perfect for a farm cow, says Becky. I think so. I think it kind of suits her. Like, it just gives her a little bit more of a rustic kind of feel. I think that's what I want. I want her to have a little bit of a rustic cow feeling. There's an end. Will I use that one? These are wrapped so nicely. I don't know where the end is. That looks like an end, but hello? There's got to be an end here somewhere. All right, what if I just use a bit of this? Can I? Yes, I can pull a bit of that off. Perfect. Haha. What I think I can do is make a knot. So I'm going to loop this under here. I'm going to put both these ends through the bead, making sure that it's Yep, and then I think I need a bead at the bottom. So, another excuse to get into my beads. Always a pleasure. One of these little ones. This might take a bit of doing. Can I get one through? Maybe not. I might need a bead with a bigger hole in it. Yep, I need a bead with a bigger hole in it. Okay, what have I got? Well, that's a pretty one. Will they both fit through? I think this is perfectly okay to use a pretty bead. All right, now the trick is going to be to knot this somehow. I should have cut a longer piece. Oh well. Live and don't bother learning. That's me. Maybe actually if I make the knot big enough, it won't come back up through that. All right, I'm going to hold that off. Or I just glue it. Hello, Jada. That makes much more sense. I will forego the bead. I will add some glue. And that will keep it from wanting to come off. And then I can trim whatever's left. All right, so I'm going to get my glue gun in here, give it just a smidgen of glue. Watch it just blurt all over this thing. Come on, just a little bit, just a little bit. There we go. A little bit. And I'm going to let that dry. And then I will trim those two tails because I don't think I need those two long tails. Yes. And I think I can probably do that while it's drying. So I'll do this and I'll do that. There. Miss Cow has her bell. I think she's done. So can I just say that little bell is a little ghost bead, but it looks like the cowbell. It has that kind of metal tin pounded look around the bottom. It's in the right shape. It's more bell-like, and it's a good size and color, I think, for her, because the little jingle bell that we used on the cat is perfect for the cat collar, but I feel like she needed something to look more like a cow bell, a proper bell, to distinguish her from the cat collar. This looks a little more to scale, I think. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. Neat and tidy at the back. So I just crossed the two twines at the back and with a little dab of glue. Love that glue gun. And then I glued the bead onto the string. So the string comes through it, but I put a little bit of glue there and it's gonna glue the string into the underside of it. So done. Done. She's got nostrils, which I think is an improvement on the original. And she's got a proper cowbell. I was picturing something a lot more fancy in my head, but I didn't really have the room around her neck like I kind of thought I would, because I wasn't looking at the picture when I was thinking about it. I wake up in the middle of the night and I have these thoughts. So there we go. I think though the cowbell definitely adds a little something to this, and I like her nostrils. I think she looks better with pink nostrils. So there you go. Cute and perfect, says Jessica Rabbit. Perfect, says Becky. I like it, says Charlie. My dears, I think we nailed it. We nailed the cow. So that was number 4. That was fun. little more complicated, the cow, few more moving parts. Definitely like had to give her the collar and the nostrils. The nostrils were a good choice. I think it suits because I didn't like the holes. I liked the idea. It gave us nostrils, but it needed something else. So there we go. Done and done. The cow is complete. That's number 4 in the Farm Friends saga. And you guys were here for it. Thank you so much. I will take a photograph of her and I will make it the thumbnail. So if you want to come back and see what it looks like in better lighting, like a better, clearer picture, that'll be there for you. I might do a post. I'm definitely going to do another poll post to sort of see which one we stitch up next. I might also force my hand and make it the rabbit though. I don't know. When's Easter? I can never remember. Easter's coming next month, so no, I won't force the hand yet. I'm not desperate to make the rabbit next. I just want to make the rabbit before Easter or around Easter. I think that's appropriate. But I will put up a poll, and you guys once again can pick the one that we make next. If you want to share photos of your finished little character with me, you can send them to the Etsy shop. I don't think I've got the link in the description box, but maybe I should add that. I think most of you have it already, but if you don't, maybe I should add that to the description box. That'd be helpful, Jada. And you can share a photo with me, and then I like to do the odd little collage or a little like collection of photos on the tab, the community tab, because it's kind of neat, especially if we all do it a little bit differently. It's kind of fun to see how they all uniquely turn out. So Good Friday is April the 3rd. April the 3rd. Okay, so that's like 2-ish weeks away. Oodles of time. Oodles of time. Thank you, Shell. And Becky. Becky says it's the 5th. Yeah, Easter would be the 5th. Super duper. All right, ladies. I'm going to call it there, I think, for today. Photo coming. Poll coming. Make sure you vote. And we'll see you very soon. Stay safe and crafty. We are stitching our own life. You can stitch your own life. I am stitching a farm life. I get to stitch my own story. Stitching my own farm story here. This is so fun. And you guys are great too. And I'm just, thank you for being along for the ride, because this has just been a hoot. It's been a hoot so far. I'm having so much fun with this kit. Anyway, all right. You know the drill. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Take care and stay marvelous. Stay marvelous. And share photos. Share photos with me. And ideas. If you have ideas, leave them in the comments section. Especially for embellishing other ones. Let's keep this creative train going. Okay, bye guys.